Peace, y'all. It's the Lord here, Cold World. I'm over here kicking it with the guy Jay Wiggs and my main man Tony B. What's up, fellas?
What's going on, y'all?
What's good, fellas?
Happy to be here.
I can't call it, man. Welcome everybody to another episode of Brodies Sports Talk. It's the panel edition. It's your main man Cold World. It's my main man Jay Wiggs, and we kicking it with Tony B, a longtime friend here, man. Welcome to the panel. Glad you can be here. Thanks for the support. Now, before we get started, as usual, we wanted to say thank you to all the supporters, all the Brodies out there for following us. We're over 600,000 views and counting. I did the tally this morning, Wiggs. So we're approaching 1 million viewers. As usual, like and subscribe. Click on the bottom right-hand corner on YouTube. And also like and follow on Instagram and TikTok. And what's your IG feed, Tony?
Oh, dang. Like, you catch me off guard. Tony B. Fresh on IG. So, I mean, you know, my stuff is normally like family stuff. I say my trash talk for y'all, trying to correct y'all. These false narratives. So, you know how I go. I might throw something out there every now and then on sports, though.
I mean, for those who don't know, me and Tony B go way back, man. We went to McNamara High School. We had a few classes together, and ever since then, we've been chopping up sports. And, you know, for real, for him, Wiggs, and a few other of my boys have kept me on my toes when it comes to sports talk. Because if you're going to come to Tony B with some stats, them shits better be car facts. Ain't that right?
Yeah, you got to bring facts now. Sometimes y'all be out here talking nonsense and foolishness, and y'all just need some correction. So I just got to give y'all a little straightening every now and then to make sure it's right. So we good to go.
I hear you. But one thing I will say, the Brodies are Hattori Hunzo sword sharp with the analytics here. So we're going to see what we can do here. It's the Knights at the Round Table. Okay, it's the BST panel, first annual installment. So we go ahead and kick things off. You know, Tony, why don't you go ahead and just give us a brief sports background? It's just like, you know, your sports life, man, and how you came about being a sports fan.
Man, I just came up in a sports family. I had family members that play college ball. I had a couple members of my family play pro ball overseas. So we always just came up playing sports, basketball, football. I love boxing. So, you know, we just came up talking sports. And, you know, me being one of the youngest members of my family, you know, to get on the court, to get on the field, you know, I had to work a little bit harder. And one of the things I developed over time was the ability to talk a little trash. So I like to say I'm one of the greatest trash talkers God ever made. So y'all gonna see a little bit of that tonight, and we gonna keep it rolling.
Facts, super facts, man.
Hey, I got a question for Tony real quick.
What up?
Hold on, I got a question for Tony. Tony, what position did you play in basketball and football when you were growing up?
So normally I played point guard, and then when I played football a couple years, I played running back.
Okay.
Who that? One of the little princesses?
My daughter want to pop in and say hi.
Okay, what's up?
All right,
how you doing?
My lady.
Hey. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, there we go.
That's what's up. Shout
Hey,
out to Tony,
so he,
fathers out there. You know what I'm saying? We definitely love the kids. Brodies love the kids. We're going to be building start working on our foundation, Stars for Stars, where we'll be, you know, collecting money to donate to, you know, local boys and girls sports clubs to help single parents, you know, with the sports equipment and traveling expenses. I myself grew up in a single family. My mom had to, you know, borrow money to get my sports equipment and all that stuff. So one of the ways the Brodies are going to be giving back to the community. But yeah, that's awesome. But to kick things off, we're going to go ahead and start off with the first segment. Now, Tony is a Chicago Bears fan.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
And as a Skins fan, and, you know, Wiggs is a Miami Dolphins fan at heart, but he's also a Commanders fan. He's from Detroit, so he also has love for the Lions as well.
Hey, nah.
Having said that, we all know what it's like to root for a losing franchise, right?
Facts.
But in recent years, we've been blessed by the football guys. We got 2 franchise quarterbacks. We got 2 great offensive coordinators and coaches, you know, in both divisions. And we're also in one of the hardest divisions in football, the NFC East and the NFC North. So with that being said, with the first segment, are we poking the bear? Tony B, what is your prediction for the Chicago Bears this year?
We're going to get 9 to 10 wins this year. I took a good glance at the schedule. I like the way we're set up right now. So we're starting to build our team right. So when I looked at our team before, we always got the leftover coaches. I mean, you remember Ryan Trestman You remember, what I forget our last coach's name. I blocked him out of my
I was
memory.
about to say, do we remember? I don't remember none of the coaches.
I blocked him out. He was so bad, but he was the former assistant coach for the Buffalo Bills. So there was he, and there was the Giants coach came out at the same time. We got him, and it just hadn't really worked out. I mean, we had Justin Fields, and they didn't know how to develop that quarterback. And then I do like our new GM, Ryan Poles. He's not new, but he's been there for a couple years. He seems like he's starting to build our team the right way. We had some offensive linemen come in to protect Caleb because he was getting killed last year. And we've just continued to build our team. So I'm expecting a big year for us. I'm expecting 9 or 10 wins. We have the cream of the crop when it comes to coaches. We got Ben Johnson, so I'm expecting some creativity there. So I think we're going to be good to go. I think we are a piece away, though. I want us to get Nick Chubb. I haven't really been DeAndre Swift. I mean, I feel like he's like a number 2 back when you look at him. I mean, coming from that Detroit system, he's like the Jahmyr Gibbs type. I mean, I look at Swift as like I mean, you hate to say it, like a poor man's Brian Westbrook from back in the day of the Philadelphia Eagles. He can catch passes, he can run a little bit, but he's not the thunder player we need to hit the hole, pause, and go on there and make sure he goes tough, y'all. And get the tough, y'all.
Stay professional, Tony.
We try to stay professional. All right, that's good. So I definitely want Nick Chubb. He's out there. He's a free agent, and I think he would add a lot to our team. So our passing game is legit. So we gonna be straight. We gonna make some noise this year in the NFC North.
All right, hold on. Let me ask you this, Tony. What did you think y'all were gonna do last year? Because last year y'all made a lot of changes. Like you said, Ryan Poles, the GM. I like what he's doing. He's being aggressive. He's making moves in free agency. He's going after positions of need. I feel like, last year they needed receivers. He went and brought in 2. Keenan Allen. What's the other? Yeah, Odunze in the draft. Yep. This year they come back. They get a tight end in the draft, Colston Loveland. Yep. They take him over Tyler Warren, and then they come back in the second round and get Luther Burden.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about what you thought about the draft, and then again, what did you think? How they did last year? Did you think they were going to be better, and they, didn't live up to your expectations?
So they didn't live up to my expectations last year. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was expecting a lot more from my team last year with all the moves we had with the Keenan Allen trade. The Keenan Allen move, we picked him up as a free agency. So I was expecting a lot more from us last year, but I mean, it just goes to show coaching matters, and our coach wasn't good. So we didn't produce those good results. Transformed this year, we picked up Ben Johnson. Then we got Dennis Allen, who's a great defensive coordinator. And then when you pick up Colston Loveland, I was a bit surprised we picked him up, but I was pleased we picked him up because he's a weapon that we can use. So, I mean, I look at him, he's like that hybrid type tight end, and he's doing his thing. So as a Michigan fan, I watched a lot of him in college. So he's definitely going to cause a lot of mismatch problems on the opposite side of Cole Kmet. We have 2 legit tight ends that are going to cause problems on the inside while we have Bold and while we have DJ Moore and while we have Rome Odunze on the outside. So we're going to cause problems this year for sure.
Yeah. Hey, Cole was projecting you guys to get Ashton Genty. Man, I thought that would have been a great pick for y'all.
I thought that would have been a great pick for us too, but I mean, as draft projections came down, we saw he was going to get out of here early. So the Raiders did a great job in picking him up. And looking at him, he was a lot smaller than I expected. He's like 5'8", 5'9". I thought he was a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah. But he's built like Barry Sanders.
He's built like Barry, but I wanted that power back. That's what we need in Chicago to run through the snow and the rain and the mud. That's what we need out there.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing, Tony. I love that Nick Chubb pickup. If y'all pick up Nick Chubb, fantasy,
it'll be nice. It'll be nice. So,
let's take a look at the first quarter of the season for you guys. So it's going to be pretty tough. So you got the Vikings.
Yeah, that's going to be a win because we getting them off a rookie quarterback.
Let's go through the wins and losses. So you got the first game as a win.
That's a dub. Yeah.
Okay. Then you got the Lions. So 2 back-to-back division games.
Ooh. So I feel like we're gonna split with the Lions this year. Okay. Because they got to get some of their coaches back. They got to do their thing. They're going to go through a lot of transition. So we gonna split with them this year. So
who gets the first matchup? Who gets the first matchup?
Away. This is at the Lions. So you got them losing that one?
I give it.
Okay. Then you're at home to Whack Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys.
That's a dub.
Okay.
Hey, easy dub.
That's a
okay.
dub.
And then you got the Raiders.
That's a dub.
Okay.
Okay. I like it.
Here we go, Wiggs. Now here comes the BS. You're at Commanders Monday night.
Listen, we gonna get our
Don't
win
even
back.
say it.
That was
Don't even
BS
say
the way
it.
y'all want.
Don't even say
that was
it.
the luckiest play I think I've ever seen in my life. First off, who is Noah Brown? I've never heard of him in my life. He just popped up one day and caught the Hail Mary after we came back. We getting our dub back, man. It was terrible.
But the funny thing is, what did I say when I predicted our game with our season?
Coach said it last week.
Coach
said it last week. We were probably that will be a game. We're gonna start strong. I think you had us winning like the first 4 or 5 games, but you did say I think this was the first one that we lose.
I need that one back. One back. Y'all know what y'all did last year.
That's fair. We'll see. We might have to put some money on that one.
That's cool.
Okay, we got the Saints. Yeah, you're at home for the Saints.
Oh, that's easy.
That's a dub.
That's belt to behind right there. We gonna smash stuff.
Then you're at
But the Saints don't have a quarterback. Hold up. The Saints don't have a quarterback.
No, they don't.
Tony, what do you think about Shador dropping in the draft?
It was crazy. It was
crazy.
That was whack.
Like, I don't understand why he felt like that. They were trying to clearly send a message. But when it comes to talent is always supposed to win out. I can understand him dropping to the lower first round, maybe even the second round, but the drop to the 5th is crazy.
Yeah,
they picked up Tyler Show, who's, he's okay. He's like 45 years old, though.
Not better than Shador.
He's not
better than Shador. Did you see his combine tape?
I saw his combine. It wasn't good.
Right.
And then they got
not good.
Waller, who's okay. He's just a guy.
What Bubba say? Trash.
Yeah, trash. But so I mean, I was really disappointed in seeing that. I thought that would have been a good opportunity for him because I mean, Shador's kind of in the Drew Brees frame of quarterbacks, not the strongest arm, but super accurate.
Yeah.
So I thought that was going to be a good opportunity for him, and I was super mad at Pittsburgh. I was like, y'all, what are y'all doing?
Yeah. Multiple times they passed on Shador.
They
Multiple
passed on him several times, and it's like, all right. I understand the thought process. You thought you were going to get Aaron Rodgers, but we almost in June now. He hadn't signed yet. So what happens if he doesn't sign?
I wouldn't bank on Aaron Rodgers. They might get Kirk Cousins as a plan B out there in Pittsburgh, but you got the Ravens coming up after the Saints.
That's an L.
Okay.
That's an L.
Then you got the Bengals. You're at Bengals.
What date is that? Are we still? Is it still
November 2nd?
It's November 2nd, so it's cold.
All right, so it's November, so they're gonna start playing good then. All right, so
okay.
I'll take an L on that one.
Okay.
We played them early, that would have been a dub though.
That's a good point.
Then we got then you're home with hosting the Giants.
Oh yeah, that's an easy win. Easy win.
Then you're on the road again with the Vikings.
All right, we'll split with them. With them. I'll give them their respect.
Then I think this is going to be a win for you, but you're hosting the Steelers next.
That's a win too. That's a win.
That's a win. Then you got the Eagles. You're at Eagles on the 28th.
We're catching the L on that.
Okay.
We're catching that.
Okay.
Hey, I like Tony. He honest, man. He honest.
Hey, man, you got to be realistic. Okay, and then you're on the road against the Packers.
Oh, we're gonna split with them. So we'll let them have the first one.
Then you're home against the Browns. That's a win.
Yeah, that's a dub.
And then you're home against the Giants. You said you will split them, so that's a win. And then you're at San Francisco.
Oh, they're gonna be hurt. They're gonna be hurt by that. That's a dub.
Yeah. And then you wrap it up with hosting the Lions, and you said you'll split with them. So that's
we'll split with them. Yeah. So I feel good about it. So that's 9-10
what's
wins.
that?
That's what 9-10 wins.
12.
Oh dang! I got a little happy there.
12-5. 12-5. That's best case scenario. That's your ceiling, and 9 is your floor. So 9 to 12 wins.
I can rock with that.
I got y'all winning 10.
Because last year I didn't think y'all was gonna get what y'all got to, but
we got 12. Yeah, facts. They were above and beyond my expectations, man.
Yeah, I was expecting 8. So
that's a good.
What y'all think y'all gonna do when y'all lose Cliff next year, though?
Here's the thing. Let me tell you my theory on this. I think JD's going to ball so well this year that Cliff is going to not only sign on to a third year, but the fourth year he's going to take over as head coach.
So
Quinn is not giving. Quinn is not leaving.
You don't think Quinn will leave after that?
Hell no. This is when you. How long was Andy Reid in Philly? Andy Reid was in Philly. He had a whole career. Yeah. He went and got Patrick Mahomes. He might do another 10 years, but like when you get a quarterback like that, you don't retire. That's something special. JD5 he's so special, man. Dan Quinn he might win 5 chips with JD5.
I think Cliff might stay a third year though. It depends on the coaching opportunities next season.
I can see Cliff saying 3, but to answer the question, when Cliff leaves, that is going to be an interesting situation. It definitely depends because
next year, I can see Cliff going to Cincinnati after they miss the playoffs again this year.
Yeah, he's going to go to somewhere with a good quarterback. Definitely go to somebody with a good quarterback.
I know you don't want to see it because you don't have anybody in the pipeline to replace him.
Now, one thing I will say about Washington, but up until this point, we might have effed up a lot of things, but getting good coaches was not an issue for us. We always had great coaches in Washington. We just had a horrible owner.
Y'all just had bad head coaches.
And let me say this.
It was great.
And let me say this. JD5, in my opinion, if the next coordinator is not somebody that we just bring up in our own system, to me, JD5 is his own system. He's the Brady. He's the Peyton Manning type of quarterback that he's so smart. The coaches say he corrects them. Mm-hmm. So if he's in there correcting them, when the next offensive coordinator comes in, JD5 is going to be like, look, hey, bro, just get out the way. I got this.
Get out the damn way. I got my VR.
We're going to work together. But hey, for real, get out the way, man.
I want to see a Bears Commanders NFC Championship game in a couple years. The trash talk from my side is going to be crazy, but
hey, look,
I'll be happy either way.
As long as Bama's ain't jumping off the street lights like they did in Philly and stuff, we'll definitely be good. But let us know what you think there, Brodies. You got something else?
I got one more question. This is a poke the bear question right here. Tony, who's the better quarterback, Caleb or Jaden?
This year or last year, it was Jaden. Who's more talented?
No. Who's the best? Who's in the next 10 years, 5 to 10 years? Who are we gonna say is the best quarterback out of those two?
We're gonna go with Caleb. We got to go with Caleb.
Get out of here. Hey, get him off the show.
I'm gonna tell you why we're gonna
get him off the show.
I'm gonna tell you why we're gonna go with Caleb. Because over the next 10 years, we're gonna have a better coach than y'all. We're gonna have a better coach than y'all. And then what? Because we have an offensive head coach. Y'all have a defensive head coach.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Kingsbury bounce. Go ahead. Y'all gonna feel it a little bit. It's gonna take y'all a year.
I don't know. Ben Johnson he's a little reserved, man. I don't know if that ego with your painted nails quarterback is gonna mess well. Because your boy Pete Carroll would have been a great candidate because he knows how to manage egos. But I don't know. I don't know if Ben Johnson might be able to cater to that ego of his.
He was 77, something like that.
He is old. He is old. The only thing I'm worried about with Ben Johnson is the fact that he stopped running with Jahmyr Gibbs in that playoff game last year with the Lions. The Lions had us. Their offense that was keeping up with our offense. For some reason, he tried to get cute. Yeah, he's a great play caller, but sometimes great play callers do too much. Dan Quinn lost a Super Bowl like that with Kyle Shanahan up 28-3. Kyle Shanahan is a great coordinator. In my opinion, he's a great coach. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you get those coordinators like that, and I would say that's my one concern with Ben Johnson is he might get too cute.
Yeah, he does do that sometimes, admittedly. But this year, I'm expecting a change like we had with you remember how Jared Goff was with Jeff Fisher, how trash he was that first year, and then as soon as he got Sean McVay, he turned up and showed why he was the number one pick. I'm fully
expecting a great comparison
to see that this year.
Definitely agree with that.
If we don't, I'm gonna be mad.
Definitely agree with that. But definitely,
but he ain't better than JD5 though.
Yeah, right. But let us know what you think there, Brodies. Again, like and subscribe on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Click on the bottom right-hand corner, like and subscribe. It's the Brodies panel here. Moving on. I don't know if y'all got that, heard that ring, but we got another conference call here. So we're going to be talking about just the lackluster series that's been going on, man. I mean, 3-1 on both sides. I mean, we're watching the game now. It looks like OKC is going to close it out. But, we'll start it off here with you, Wiggs. Have the conference finals lived up to his expectations?
So I think they have. I think that the thing that I've said the whole time is it's not that the games aren't good. It's just the blowout games that aren't watchable. This game is 34-14. I can turn this off right now. I don't need to watch it anymore. So it's not that, it's not this game. This game is not even watchable. But the game before this was a really good game. It was one of the best games, I think, of the playoffs. SGA was making shots late. Ant wasn't making his shots, or he wasn't looking for a shot as much, but he was playing great defense. The Timberwolves were playing great defense. You just had players making shots. So, when you look at the New York series with the Pacers, that game came down to the last couple of minutes. I thought it was a great game. We have had the blowouts, and I don't like to see that. I think the Timberwolves won 143 to 100, like 40-point blowout is crazy in the conference finals. Yeah. But outside of that, I think it's been a really good finals. It's just the blowouts. That's my only.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Tony?
I mean, I'm not mad at it because we've had a lot of comebacks too. So teams are getting out the early leads and then they're taking their foot off the pedal and the other squad is coming back. So we've seen that in New York. We've seen that with Indiana. We've seen that a couple times this series as well. So, I mean, just because you up by 15-20 in the first half don't mean you're going to hold on to that lead. The NBA is now a game of runs. So I fully expect the Timberwolves to make a run. They have more heart than to die like this. The score right now, they're down 22 right now. They better come back. They better not lay down and die like this. And, I got so much respect for Ant, the young killer that he is. I'm fully expecting them to come out back at halftime and put up at least, a run, cut it to single digits, and then we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, in the modern NBA, the 20-point lead is now the new 10, what the 10-point lead was back in the 90s. Like you said, Tony, anybody can just get on a run. I mean, we've seen people put up 22 points in less than 2 minutes. It's insane how much shooting they do here. Because it's like as soon as they pass the half court, if they pass it once and shoot, or just hold the ball for like maybe 5 or 10 seconds and throw up another three. But like the pace of the game is a lot faster, so they're shooting a lot. But out of the two series, which one is your favorite? We'll start with you, Tony.
Oh, the Knicks and the Pacers series is crazy, man. It's so crazy. And just watching, Highly turn into the star that he's becoming versus JB, watching Cat. I mean, I really enjoy watching OG and Mikal Bridges. I mean, that's an entertaining series that's going back and forth. From the crazy game where Hallie hit the shot, it hit off the back of the rim, bounced in to send the game to overtime. All of the games have been crazy competitive. All of them have been crazy close, and I'm really enjoying watching that series. You really don't know who's going to win game to game, even though the Pacers are up 3-1 right now. It could easily be the other way. So, I mean, we just going to see what happens there. New York's not out of it. I mean, if you look at it, they probably have 2 of the 3 best players in the series. So if they can put it together, we don't know. We don't know, man. If they get it to 3-2, there's an opportunity there. They have to figure some things out, though. They have to stop. Nesmith has been really hooping for him. And then I like the way Ben Mathurin came in and played at the end of the game. He had about a dub in that game yesterday. He reminds me of how Jimmy Butler used to be when he was with the Bulls in Chicago, when Derrick Rose was still running roughshod over the league. Young fella, good minutes.
Not backing down from anybody.
Not backing down, has talent, has heart, is an agitator. So, I mean, Indiana, they're going to cause some problems for years to come, for sure.
Okay. Hey. Wait, let me ask you this. Out of the series, where would you rank the players as far as the best players in both series, from SGA, Ant-Man, Halliburton? Who are the shining stars right now in these two conferences?
Yeah, that's a great question, Co, because what I was going to say right before you asked that question was this series is showing you how important players like Caruso and Nesmith are. Nesmith for the Pacers, he's not, going to be the leading scorer, but sometimes some nights he can get 20. he had 6 threes the other night, 6 threes in the fourth, or 5 threes in the fourth quarter, like something crazy like that. But he's really in there for his defense, and his defense is superb. He's making things very difficult for Jalen Brunson. Caruso is doing the same thing against Ant-Man. Lou Dort. Like, this series is showing you how important those players are. But when it comes to the top players, Tony's absolutely right. The Knicks, when you look at it, really have 2 of the best top 3 players in this series. And, you can make a case for Pascal Siakam. He's showing you why he's one of the top power forwards in the league. Draymond Green gave him his flowers, saying that Julius Randle beat him in the last series. The only other player to beat him was Pascal Siakam in a complete series. So got to give Siakam his flowers. When it comes to the other series, SGA is MVP, and you talk about him all the time, Co. I'm starting to appreciate that mid-range game a little bit more. Like I said, if he's efficient with it, he's deadly. I think 40 points, damn near a 40-point triple-double last night, or two nights ago. So SGA is deadly. I love Ant-Man, though. But he's showing some of his youth, kind of falling short in these conference finals. He did the same thing last year to Luka, and kind of coming in this series doing the same thing, just probably running out of gas. You got to get stronger. You have to get stronger. Michael Jordan had to do the same thing. He had to get stronger to compete in the playoffs. He lost a lot in the early rounds when he was young. They
burned that video. They burned that.
We love to forget about that. We love to forget about that. But yeah, Ant is going to grow from this. He's only 23, so I love Ant. Julius Randle and Jaden McDaniels are really good, but then Chet and Jalen Williams are really good. Co, you sent me a meme earlier, and I'll make this my last point about the comparisons for SGA. One was to Kobe. We talked about that earlier. The next one was SGA and Jalen Williams are like Jordan and Pippen. And this OKC team is really good. Like, this is just a really, really good team. You could say Chet is what was the foreign player that the Bulls had? Tony Kukoc. You could say Chet is the Tony Kukoc type of impact player. They don't have a Dennis Rodman on their team, but they do have a Lou Dort, a player that's just a really, really good defender. Like I said, Caruso comes in and he's a great defender as well. This is a really good OKC team. I think they're going to win the championship.
No, I think you're right.
What say you, Tony?
I think they're really good. I don't think they're great, though. I mean, comparing them to Mike and Scotty and all those boys, that might be a bridge too far for me. But, I mean, they're a really, really good team. They're a talented team. They're super young, though, because they're all in their early, mid-20s. I think they'll eventually get there. To compare SGA to kind of the Mikes and the Kobe's, I mean, I have a tough time with that, but he's a great player in his own right, mainly because he's not quite as athletic as they are. I mean, he has the 3-level scoring. He's super, super crafty too. So I love his game. Like we said, he's a foul merchant. He gets to the line, gets 8 to 10 points a game on free throws. But I don't see them as a great team, realistically. I mean, they're a good team, and they might be the best of the 4. But in a couple years, they might develop into a great team because you have, J-Dub who can turn. He was third team All NBA this year. You got SGA, the MVP. You got Chet, who may or may not make the Olympic team next time. So they have the tools to be a great team. They just not there yet. And realistically, there's probably not a great team in the NBA right now.
That's a good point. And now I will say this. With OKC, they have a history of shooting themselves in the foot. Like we said before we started the show, that this will be the 4th MVP that they've had on their roster, and they still haven't delivered a championship. So if they win a championship this year, which is most likely, they might open up more of an avenue to start bringing more players to keep them as a great team, because they're known for not keeping their players for some odd reason. But I would say I will ask to both of you this. Knowing that we're going to have a low market finals this year between OKC and the Pacers, most likely, it's not going to be a sexy finals. What would you rate the playoffs so far? Like, what grade would you give it?
B. This will be.
Go ahead.
I just thought of something. If OKC don't win this year, what would you say if they traded for Giannis next year, knowing all the picks they have?
Do it. Get him if you can.
Give up Chet and a bunch of picks. Go get Giannis and SGA.
Yes.
That might be the foundations to a championship or a three-peat. They'll have, a top 3 player in the world. You know what? You could argue they have 2 top 3 players in the world if they traded for Giannis.
Yeah, I agree.
You could argue it.
Wiggs, what grade would you give them?
So this playoffs, I love the physicality. What I don't love is the refereeing, because with the physicality being allowed the way that it is, it just also allows the refs to dictate the game. They can say when they want it to be physical, and then they can say, now we're going to call it. Now we're going to allow it. So that's the only thing I don't like about the physicality of the playoffs. I love watching them play physical, but then I hate, the refs having that, just that whistle in their pocket. And I would say that, but I would give it an A-. Okay. I think it could be better, but I love the fact that anybody could win. From the first series, I thought the Lakers had a real chance at the chip. I thought the Warriors had a real chance.
We picked the Celtics.
We picked the Celtics, the Cavs. I thought the Cavs had a real chance. So each round, it's really been, and just like we said with the Knicks and Pacers, their series could have been Knicks up 3-1 very easily. This Wolves series could be 2-2 real easily. So I love the fact that any of these teams can win. That keeps me interested, even though they may not be. I would have loved to see New York versus the Lakers or Boston versus the Lakers again. But I think we're seeing a good level of play.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would rate this in just A- as well, because the reason why is because I don't watch much basketball since Kobe passed. So this is the most basketball I've watched in a long time, and I'm happy that smaller market teams are getting a shot at the title. Like we dubbed this the year of the underdog for the playoffs. So I'm glad to see that that's working out. But let us know what you think there, Brodies. On the Eastern and Western Conference Finals. To wrap that up real quick, who you got for the championship? I'm taking the Thunder. Wiggs got the Thunder. Who you got, Tony?
I think I got the Thunder too. That's probably the safest pick. Okay. But it wouldn't shock me if any of these teams won. I mean, it's a coin flip. We all thought Boston was going to win 2 weeks ago, so nothing would surprise me at this point.
Cool beans. Well, again, like and subscribe on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Click on the bottom right-hand corner and subscribe. But staying on the east side, there's a particular player that has been, on the news lately. He had a triple-double with no turnovers. He was the first player in NBA history to do that. And he's actually starting to get a spotlight put on a team that's never really had it much since the late 90s with Reggie Miller.
Miller.
What the hell? Is Tyrese on a great pace to win the championship? Is he a superstar now, Tony?
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's one of the best point guards in the game. So if you look at the league right now, he has to be considered top 5. I mean, like you said, he had a great game the other day. He had 34 points, like 10 rebounds, 11 assists, something like that. But the biggest key was he had no turnovers. And when you look at Hallie, you know who Hallie is right now? Hallie is who we thought Lonzo Ball was going to be when he came out of school. Everything that they said about Lonzo Ball is what Hallie is right now. 6'5", 6'6", crazy handle, can shoot the rock, but has an unorthodox jump shot. People want to play with him. He's proving to be one of the best players in the league, and he's on a trajectory to eventually hit the Hall. Two third-team All-NBA selections. He's already probably the greatest point guard in Pacers history. He is a baller, and he might attract some players to come to Indiana.
All right, hold on. I think Mark Jackson might have something to say about
I was about to say that
best Pacers point guard. He might, but
got a game for your life. Who you taking?
See, that's where I think Hallie is. That's where I think he's in the overrated conversation. I don't agree with the overrated statement, but I do think there's some inconsistency. Again, I said it about SGA. I think there's some inconsistency in these star players that we have currently in the NBA. they're just not like the way like LeBron. When you compare LeBron and Steph Curry to the current NBA players, it's just not the same. There's they're not at that level yet. And like you said, Tony, they may be able to get to that level in a few years. They're young, 23, 26, stuff like that. So they may be able to get to that level. And Hallie may be able to get to that level. He may be able to get to see that consistency. He's had a great playoffs, but they disappeared last year, and we'll try to keep it current. But I don't know that this Pacers team will be here a few years from now, because I don't know if they can keep that group together once Hallie gets his next contract. So I don't know if I would say Hall of Fame yet. I got to see a little bit more from Hallie.
Trajectory.
Okay.
Hallie over, and I love and respect Mark Jackson. He's an OG. He loved the Lord the whole night.
Yeah,
Hallie better than him. Come on, y'all.
So I think Hallie has a higher ceiling. Like in game, Hallie has a high ceiling. But Mark Jackson was a real point guard. And
he was a great point guard.
He was a great point guard.
Mark Jackson would give you 12, 13 points.
Yeah.
Mark Jackson could be the best player on the team.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I agree with that too. Now, okay. So we got the rising stars coming up here. We got SGA winning his first MVP. So he's in the fraternity now as a superstar. Ant-Man's a gold medal winner and arguably the face of the league, even though he doesn't want it. And now we got Halliburton. Now, we have given him that superstar tag, but would you put him in the top 5 going into next year?
Top 5 point guards or top 5 players?
No.
Players.
No, he's not.
What about point guards?
Top 5 players.
Yeah, point guards for sure.
Okay. So
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to see who's better than Hallie at the point guard position.
So you still got Steph. He's a legacy.
Yeah, I'll give you Steph for sure.
Are we calling Luka a point guard?
I would call Luka a point guard.
I mean that. He handles the rock a lot.
That's the position he has. Like LeBron is forward, even though to me LeBron and Luka are the same. But Luka has point guard on his thing.
He and Brunson are really, really close, but that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
All right. So now here's another question I'll ask. What if Giannis goes to Indiana?
Oh, that's a title. That's a title. For sure. Because then everybody slots into a new position. Because then you have him being your star, right? You have Hallie being your number 2, and you got Pascal Siakam as your number 3.
Yeah, if you still have Siakam on that team, that's a championship.
Yeah, I agree. So,
all right, hold on, y'all. What about Trae Young? Trae Young or over Halliburton? Trae Young is 20 and 10 easily. He just doesn't have the defense, but I don't know about Hallie's defense. Is Hallie's defense like that?
It's better than Trae.
It's definitely better than Trae Young. Definitely better than Trae.
I mean, I put him over Trae because, winning has to matter to a degree. Their talent levels of their team over the last few years have been somewhat similar. I'm gonna give the edge to Hallie.
Okay,
but
and then how about
he has to be considered. He's a great player. I think he's a little underrated now. People kind of kill him now, and he doesn't get some of the shine that he's due. But Trae's a good player.
He hasn't been getting any All-Stars. I think like every year he's been like the snub of All-Stars.
He keeps getting snubbed. He's a good player. He needs some help. But he seemed like a lot of coaches getting fired down there, and he can't seem to get along with other star players. He and John Collins didn't get along, and he and DeJounte Murray is up out of there now. So there's a common denominator here, and we gotta look at that sometimes. So he probably just needs a little maturity and staying out of Magic City.
Hey, I'm gonna give y'all a couple more. Cade Cunningham in Detroit.
Oh, I like Cade.
I like Cade a lot.
He's gonna be a problem.
And we got a Detroit following, so we gotta answer this correctly.
He's solid.
Cade's gonna be a star. He's gonna be a star.
Yeah.
If somebody took Cade over Hallie, I disagree for the moment, but I wouldn't be mad.
Okay. And I think you could just basically base that off how far they gotten in the playoffs. The fact that Hallie's taking this team a little bit further than Cade, I think you got to give that to Hallie. SGA. SGA is a point guard, right? Who you taking, SGA or Hallie?
Oh, SGA.
Oh, well, okay. He's the MVP, so you got
to say MVP.
Okay. Hey.
So he's like fifth.
Okay.
I put highly a fifth.
Kyrie? Is Kyrie a point guard?
He is.
See, the problem is the modern day basketball, the point guard is actually the new shooting guard.
It's the guard. It's just a guard position.
It's kind of hard to like call them point guards because I don't see Kyrie as a point guard. I see him just like
I see him as a shooting guard.
Yeah. I think Kyrie, when healthy, is still one of the best in the business. Like no one can finish at the basket like that, dude. I don't care what no one says.
He's one of the most talented, but he can't be the best player on your team, and that's kind of a standard I look to judge it. Like we hold Kyrie's talent to a certain level, but he's had the opportunity to show he's the man on the team, and we see the results right now. So when he was in Boston, when he'll get you to the playoffs, maybe
by himself.
What about Ja Morant, y'all?
Ja Morant. I mean,
go ahead.
He
got game. Let's not lie. He got game. Yeah, he has a lot of game. A lot of skill.
Like
the most athletic probably
in the world. But he just needs a better head on his shoulder. He needs to revise that circle around him. That's all.
I'll agree with that. I love Ja's game. He's a great player. He just needs to mature a little bit. I mean, I wish David Stern was in the league right now. He would have gotten Josh.
Would have got them together.
Yeah, he would have got them together. He got Melo. He was like on that no snitching. He was like, Melo said he called him into the office and gave him some straightening. So Ja just needs a little bit of that too. He'll be all right.
LaMelo Ball. Go ahead, Cole. LaMelo Ball.
I like Melo.
Yeah, Melo's nice. He has good stats too.
I mean, I like him too, but he like Chinese food. He empty calories, man. I mean, he cool, but empty calories.
He's definitely my favorite. Well, I'm not even gonna say it because that's gonna be a hell of a pause moment. Never mind.
Your favorite ball? Chill.
He's one of my. He's definitely the best out of all the balls.
Chill.
Hey yo. Well, yeah, like and subscribe on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, Brodies. Let us know what you think there. Now, to wrap things up, the real reason why we're here, it's been a debate that's been going on for years, for decades even, now that he's been in the league this long. And it's one of the reasons why Tony is here, okay? It's because some people may call this man the GOAT. Some people might call him the king. I call him a false prophet. So with that being said, it's only right that we have the conversation, and you have to bring your A game. You got to be prepared. You got to be ready. And the reason why we're here at the Knights table. So I think that LeBron is not the GOAT. I said what I said. So who's your NBA GOAT, Tony?
I mean, at this point, I used to be with you on this, but he's done too much. You got to say it's LeBron now. I mean, when you look at it, the best thing he does is pass, but yes, he's the all-time leading scorer in the league. How do you look at that? He can defend 5 positions. He leads every team he goes to at least the NBA Finals at least once. I mean, what more this man got to do for y'all to get Michael Jordan off that pedestal? Now, I love Mike too. He was great. But come on, man. I mean, y'all burned the footage before 1991. We act like, y'all kill LeBron. He lost all the finals and this, that, and the third. But yet, we don't never bring up the footage of Mike getting swept out the first round. Where that footage at? I haven't seen it yet. I know Larry Bird is 6-0 against him in the playoffs, but you never see no footage about that. You see Michael Jordan going between his legs about 20 times, shooting a shot, getting 63 in the Boston Garden. They never tell you that was an L.
Game too.
That was an L.
Right.
They'll never tell you that was an L. They'll never tell you, he got swept out. He brought out the broom, the dustpan, mopped them up afterwards too. They'll never tell you that. Got him up out of there.
All right, I think I'm gonna have to mediate this one, Cole, because I think this is. Let me say this: Jordan is my GOAT, so I'm not gonna say too much because I think this is really between y'all. Cole, you got a lot to say, like you said what you said. So, Cole, tell us who is your GOAT and why.
So here's the situation. I want to just make it perfectly clear to all the LeBron sexuals and the slurpettes out there. Okay. I don't hate LeBron James. This is not a LeBron James bashing show, Wiggs. We say this all the time. It's not. We show love and we show hate here at the Brodies. And my only issue with it is this man was crowned the greatest basketball player of all time before he was even drafted. And I completely didn't like the disrespect they had for Kobe Bryant when he was literally winning championships during all of this shit. Now, the only issue with my thing with LeBron is he self-proclaimed himself to be the greatest of all time. And if you're going to self-proclaim yourself to be the best, you're going to be scrutinized heavier than anyone else. Jordan has been on record for saying that he doesn't like being called the greatest. He doesn't like the comparisons and all that good stuff because it disrespects the people before him. And I agree with that. Now I also agree that if you think you're the best, say you're the best. There's nothing wrong with that. But you got to understand that it's going to come with more scrutiny. So the fact that he says that, that's when I'm like, oh, well, let me take out my magnifying glass and start nitpicking, for the sake of sports talk. I think he's the third greatest basketball player of all time. That's never going to change in my eyes because I saw Jordan and I grew up watching Kobe. So, I mean, to your point, just to answer your question, Tony, there's nothing he can do to make me think that he's the greatest.
Here's my problem with the Jordan jihadists. I was like, they will wage holy war for this man, like they get a free pair of J's every time they defend him. Like they love him more than, what? I swear some people love MJ more than they love their wife. If it was with their wife and MJ on a boat, the wife is going by.
Let me ask y'all this: Do the shoes make a difference? I know it should be on the court. Do the shoes make a difference?
Right there. That's the deciding factor. Ain't nobody killing each other on no LeBron shoes.
Okay, so if the shoes don't make a difference, how about LeBron's off the court? LeBron is like spotless off the court. Great record off the court. He's got a school. He does great things. Is that included in the debate? Or is this strictly on the court?
We're not talking as a person.
Game.
Okay. So no shoes. No shoes don't matter, Co. We're not talking about shoes. No. We're not talking about I have a dream school, I promise school, none of that. Talking strictly basketball. All right, hold on. Let me ask this, Co. Anything to say, because Tony said that LeBron can defend all 5 positions. I disagree with that. I'm gonna just say that. I disagree with that. When do you, Tony, any rebuttal to that?
So I was like, did you see him guard? Now, I'm not going to say he guarded him great. Did you see him guard Jokic in the last series, the last few times they played Jokic? So we can acknowledge he's guarded 5s, right?
He can guard.
Yes, he does. He does guard, but not good.
I didn't say he was locking up, but you can put him on everybody. You remember when you put him on Derrick Rose, you can put him on your 3. You can put him on the 4. He's the most versatile piece on the board, which is what I'm saying, right? But also, I know y'all love your sports, and I know y'all had the Come Fly With Me tape back in the day. What happened when Mike was checking Magic in 91? What they had to do?
That's a great point. And Co, I think you need to respond to that, because this is what I was going to say. I was going to say LeBron in his last series, he was playing against Julius Randle. Julius Randle was bodying him. But that's a great point, Tony. Michael Jordan, a lot of times, would literally go to Scottie and be like, switch with me. Yeah. You take the better player. If LeBron ever did that in a series, we would crucify him.
But he has, though.
Who is he switching with right now? Like
LeBron will take the switch. LeBron will take the switch.
He played the Warriors and he was guarding Steph and he switched.
I mean, if it's a pick and roll, because they do a lot of pick and rolls. I see LeBron do that now that he's older. He'll let the next player do like that. But LeBron he'll switch like that, but he's not calling for the switch the way Jordan used to be like, come guard Kobe. There's a tape of Kobe torching Jordan, and Jordan goes to Scottie and say, you guard him.
That's because that's the beam.
So
I've seen Jordan, and like I say, I don't even want to turn this into a Mike bashing thing because I got respect for Mike, right? I've seen Rex Chapman give him buckets. I've seen Bernard King give him buckets. I've seen Rod Strickland tear him up. I mean, he already said he has trouble with the smaller guards, right? So how do you think he would do with Derrick Rose?
Look, I mean, shit. LeBron couldn't guard.
But he did though.
He couldn't guard him. Just because you're checking
the
Derrick Rose. He tried. It's like you see how the standards change right there, Wiggs. You see how we move the goalposts over there to make them right.
Let's look at this. Tony.
Man, that's facts.
LeBron James, since we're talking defense, has he's all defensive teams 6 times. Jordan is at 9. So who's the better defensive player on record?
You can say Mike is the better defender for smaller players. Mike doesn't have the versatility.
I don't see all-time defensive player first team on small players. I see all defensive first team, period.
But he got it. But no. Let's talk about that, because I know you saw it too when he had these fugazi stats when he had that DPOY. I know you saw that article. I know you saw the article. They out there making up stats for the man. They had 20 turnovers in a game, and Mike had like 22 steals. They just making up garbage for everybody.
I saw that.
So you're calling his Defensive Player of the Year award a fluke?
Yes,
the one that LeBron's never won?
I'm calling it fake. I was like, he didn't have the stats that they said he had to get that DPOY. They making up.
Put the asterisks. Put the asterisks on it.
It's an asterisk right there.
If we're talking asterisks here, that bubble chip he got has an asterisk, and it was a shortened season.
But here's the thing: when you listen to every NBA player who played in the bubble, what do they say about that title?
It was the toughest. It was the hardest.
The toughest. So y'all don't like it because he won.
How is it the toughest when you're living at Disney World for a few months?
No friends, no family, COVID. Everybody has the same exact thing. No fans, no home, no away. You put the ball in the gym, the best team wins. It's the most fair way to do it. And what happened? I bet you if you would have lost, you would have held it against them, though. Tell the truth, shame the devil.
But here's one thing. If they had a full season, there's no guarantee they would have won the chip that year. That's why there's an asterisk to it. Just like with the Spurs championship during that strike year. We don't know if they would have won if they played a whole season. I'm not holding that against them. I'm just saying.
Do we call the Spurs championship an asterisk championship, though? Everybody go on the bubble because he won it.
Here, I got you, Tony. Do you call the Skins chip an asterisk, Co? Because they won in a shortened year, and you know he doesn't. You know he won't.
That's an asterisk year too.
You do call it an asterisk?
Yeah, a chip is okay. A chip.
I mean, if you're going to be consistent, I'll take that argument. As long as you're consistent.
Yeah, and it also shows how bad the offense was that year. It shows how bad the offense was that year for the Skins because the kicker won MVP. Skins are only team to have an MVP, as a kicker. If you know your sports facts here, but
I mean, you're not giving the trophy back though. Like everybody had an opportunity to play the games. Whoever.
All right, so let's just say this defense. Y'all say split.
No,
would y'all say it's fair to split? So you got Jordan, and you got LeBron. So I say I'm gonna call it a split.
You can call it a split.
We're gonna call it a split. All right. So offensively. Who are both of y'all saying Jordan is the better offensive player, or are you saying LeBron?
Player.
Offensively, Jordan is better. Okay. He has the most scoring titles with 10. How many scoring titles does Bron have?
So so y'all agree he's the better scorer. Okay, so
not the
better scorer. We both agree he's better scorer. But offensively,
how many scoring titles does Bron have?
Yeah, like 1 or 2. How many assist titles does Mike have?
He has 10, the most.
Assist titles?
Oh, assist. My bad. Hold on.
Yeah. You was ready to cape for him. I say you got a Superman cape in the back, just ready to cape for him.
He did lead the league in steals one year, if I'm not mistaken.
So did AI.
Okay.
What you telling me?
Let's see. Right. Let's take a look here.
Let me see how many times.
When we
talk about an offensive player, right? We can say Mike is the better scorer. Cool. I'm cool with that. But better offensive player, did Mike initiate the offense? Was Mike responsible for getting all of his teammates their shots and getting them involved? Mike didn't have to do that because he had
triangle offense, though. It still ran through him, but just in a different format.
Who brought the ball up the floor and set the table for Mike?
In the 90s, the point guard did.
No, that's Scotty set the table for Mike because he was the first point forward out there.
That's true. That's
true. Yeah, he was.
You see how they do? You gotta correct them.
Hey, you gotta correct them. That's a good point.
Hey, he brought the ball up and gave it to Jordan. Who cares?
He brought the ball up and set up the offense.
Like Jordan.
Okay. All right. So all right. Let me ask you this, Tony. So I agree with you. LeBron had more. He had more on his plate.
Yes.
Is that a negative against Jordan that he didn't have to do more? That he kind of had a better system?
I mean, you look at it. I mean, I can't give you credit for something you didn't do. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It was like he might have.
And you have to give LeBron the credit for doing more.
For the things that he did. That's all I'm saying.
So what's your rebuttal to that? You
gonna give him that credit?
Yeah, that's a Code. Do you have a rebuttal to that? Because I think that's a good point. LeBron is doing more offensively. He has more on his plate. He has more responsibility. So we have to give him credit for the assists. You know, it's like Kobe. There was that year where Kobe was leading the league in scoring, and people were like, "Oh, you can't do it like LeBron, though." And I think the point guard went down, and Kobe ended up getting a triple-double for like 10 games in a row. So they could do it, but the fact that they didn't have to do it, you know, are you going to give LeBron credit on that one, Cole?
See, this is the thing. I always give LeBron credit for the things that he does right. I mean, the dude is the third greatest basketball player of all time. So, of course, he's going to do something right in my eyes. I mean, he has a very high basketball IQ. He's got a photographic memory. He can give you every play breakdown for breakdown.
Yeah, that's
like, after the game. Like, it's remarkable. So, you know, he has a lot on his plate. And maybe that could be the cause to why he has analysis paralysis when the game is on the line, because he's trying to figure out the best play versus being the assassin that we want him to be in certain places. And sometimes he might make the wrong decision. And that's why I nitpick. But here's one thing I want to point about the point guard situation. Michael Jordan briefly played point guard for 24 games in 1988 and 89, averaging 30.4 points, 10.7 assists, and 9.2 rebounds. According to Sports Illustrated. Excellent. He basically had 10 triple-doubles in 11 games at point guard.
Excellent. The sample size is 10 games. I was like,
24 games.
You can't do workforce.
24 for Jordan, 10 for Kobe. Okay.
That was great. That was a great thing. I'm not saying he couldn't do it, but he did it for 10 games. Like, what are we talking about here?
I'm just saying for that. No, he had 10 triple doubles in 11 games.
Okay, all right. I got the next question then, fellas. This leads to the longevity question. Does LeBron? I mean, obviously you get credit, so I'm not going to ask does he get credit, but does Jordan get penalized for leaving the league? You know, for retiring twice. We would definitely criticize LeBron if he left for any reason. I don't care what. If LeBron's mom died, we would criticize him for leaving. So, does Jordan get criticized, or do we just give LeBron the credit for the longevity? He's 20 years in. He's 40 years old. He's all NBA second team. I mean, what do we say?
I look at it like this. I don't fault Mike for retiring, right? You have whatever you have going on. However, those Wizards years count. I was like, we're not going to just act like he didn't play for the Wizards those 2 years at 38, 39. He played those games. We saw him. He was here in the DMV. We enjoyed it. But we saw what it was. We saw, like, you know, Jerry Stackhouse
was a shell of himself
on the team that second year, and Mike was kind of ball hogging there. I mean, we saw what we saw. So if we going to give LeBron credit for the longevity, or if some people going to knock him for the longevity, then we got to count these Wizards years that y'all burned the tape for. That's all.
Here's the thing.
That's
with the
a good point.
Here's the thing with the Wizards, and just to kind of give like a context of why he played for the team. This was like right around the 9/11 years. So he came back and he donated the 2 years that he played his entire salary, you know, to charity. So like, you know, it was more so of a motivational thing for him to give back to the community, and also to see, you know, if he still had it. Now, I'm not.
He was supposed to be an owner. It wasn't motivated. He was supposed to get ownership.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Him and Kobe didn't do too well from a point standpoint their final years. I think they both averaged like 19, 20 points, something like that. But, you know, considering where they were in their careers and all the wear and tear, that's still pretty good. And LeBron is just a freak of nature, and he also spends a lot more money on his health. We all know Jordan didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude smoked cigars and ate steak and potatoes every day.
What is that though?
This dude looked like the Panther off of Jungle Book with them yellow eyes.
I don't disagree, but we can't penalize. We can't give him no grace on that if we compare and go. If we nitpicking like you said,
but Jordan did not make the playoffs as a Wizard. He did not make the playoffs.
No, he didn't. But here's the thing: in the shorter time that Jordan played, he still put up enough stats that has caused LeBron to have the longevity he's had to even break some of these records. Like, I think it was last year or the year before that.
That's another problem I have. That's another problem I have with this argument. What is the standard that makes Jordan the GOAT?
For me,
because y'all changed this standard back and forth. What's the standard?
No, here's my standard, because this is what the segment is called. I said what I said. Here's my plight. Okay, this is why I think Jordan is the GOAT. And on a good day, it might be the Bean. But we'll save that for another panel when Sean Waller's on here, because he and I are on the same page. But number one, he's undefeated in the finals. He has the most finals MVPs. He has the most scoring titles. He has an offensive player of the year and a defensive player of the year in the same season.
They don't have offensive player of the year in basketball, Jay.
I mean, he has an MVP and a defensive player.
There we go.
Check him on the stats.
Yeah.
What's I'm saying? He's about to make up a new award to give him. Go ahead.
Hold up. Since we're making up stats, what about the most fadeaway jump shots in the fourth quarter set by LeBron James? Didn't you remember that stat?
The LeBron stat.
Yeah, the most fadeaway jump shots in a fourth quarter.
Nah, that's just ESPN riding.
That's
ESPN glazing.
ESPN. Come on now. We gotta do better than that.
I digress.
We gotta do better than that.
But here's the one stat that I will hang my hat on. That for me makes Jordan the GOAT. And that is, he is the only player to win the NBA MVP, scoring title, first team all defense, NBA championship, and finals MVP in the same season, and he did it 4 times. That's the only player to do it.
Repeat that.
Yep. The only player to win a MVP, scoring title, first team all defense, NBA championship, and a finals MVP in the same season. Those 5 things in the same season, and he did it 4 times.
So let me think. So scoring title. What year did Bron win the scoring title?
I believe 2018. Let me double check real quick.
I got it.
That's a great stat.
2008.
So that's a great stat. So he did. So those are great numbers. And like I said, Mike is universally recognized as one of the greatest players to ever play the game. I don't never want to seem like I'm taking credit away from Michael Jordan, right? However, when you look at it, it's like, okay, he had those 4 years, right? What happened? I'm saying, what happened in the years that he didn't win? Because one of the things that frustrates me is we say Mike is the greatest. You remember after he retired the first time, he got that statue outside of the United Center? Do you know what it says on that statue?
Greatest ever.
Greatest ever. How many titles did he have at that point?
3.
So when did he become the greatest is the question. Because we keep moving the standard. Because at that point, it still should have been Kareem by those standards, correct? Why don't we ever say Kareem is it? Because we changed the goalpost to fit who we like. And that's my frustration with the Jordan jihadists. We'll just make up new ways to make him great. He's great enough. He's good.
I think let me add this in.
Just like me when it comes to Bron, though. He sounds just like me.
Let me add this in for Jordan, because I think one of the things with Jordan that made his run so spectacular, it was a little bit like Tiger Woods. It was undeniable. He was doing things that nobody else was doing, and he was winning in a way. He never went to a game 7 in the finals, I think. That it's that domination. It's the fact that when he was in the Olympics, Bird and Magic were like, he's the best. In this Olympics, we have Curry, LeBron, and KD. Mm-hmm. Curry shooting the last shot. It's not LeBron. They're not even going there. We're looking at Curry. So now we're almost at the conversation of, is Curry the best? If Curry was to get another chip this year, people were legitimately saying, are we going to have to consider Steph Curry to be the best because he got 5 chips on LeBron's watch? That's the other thing. Who was getting chips when Jordan was in his prime?
The pinnacle. No one
once he reached that place,
Isaiah.
who else was getting chips? No. Once he started getting it, was anybody else able to get it? And I think no, he wasn't. I'm with you on that part. No. I'm with you on that part, Tony. I think Jordan doesn't get enough criticism before and after the 6 chips.
I agree.
You know that we act like Jordan played 6 years and was 6 out of 6. So I definitely agree with you on that part.
The Eastern Conference Finals game. Who lost them that last game, getting plucked at the end by Nick Anderson?
When he came back. He was just coming back, though. He was just coming back on that.
We can't give him credit for the double nickel and be like, oh, no, he wasn't ready when playoff time came. You see how
I agree with that.
He got the double nickel.
Same thing you can say for LeBron's age. Because when he's balling out, because he put up 25 points a game this year, everybody's like, oh, he's 40 years old. But the moment he doesn't show up in the fourth quarter again, he's 40 years old.
All right, I need to hear Tony's rebuttal on this. That's a great one. Wow, we can't go both ways on the 40. We have to go by his ability. He's all NBA second team. So we have to judge him as all NBA second team, and he does not get an excuse for his defense. He can't get an excuse for his offense, and he did not come up in the big moments this year when they needed him.
So I guess my question is this, right? If we're going to judge LeBron this year on what he did in the playoffs and what he did defensively, then we have to judge Mike on the Wizards years, right? So are we going to do that, or are we just going to judge the players in their prime? Because I'm good with it either way.
I see what you're saying.
Argue with either
That's
way.
a great point. That's a great point.
You can't say that LeBron wasn't showing up in the playoffs, and then we was watching Mike with the Wizards being sad. I mean,
all right. So let's distinguish it. Co, is this a prime? Let me. Co, is this a prime argument or is this a complete career argument?
I think in this part of the topic, I would say it's more so career based. But like, here's the thing, like we're not holding Braun accountable for just this season. He's had a historic. He's been a habitual non-shower in the fourth quarter, dating back to the Dallas series where he was a complete no-show, and countless other instances when he hasn't shown up when it matters. So yes, we can knock Jordan for the Wizard years, but at the same time, it's like Jordan.
LeBron's defense has been bad for the last 5 years. Yeah, and LeBron's defense has been bad for the last 5, if not more years.
That's been his stigma, that he doesn't show up when it matters.
So here's my problem, because sometimes we forget when Mike didn't show up, right? We can get on LeBron. Now, Bron in that 2011 series, no excuses. No excuses, right? However,
that's the Dallas series.
The Dallas series, it was bad. And you know how you talk about Mike never went to a game 7, right? You remember the year that Scotty had the migraine and couldn't play well at the end of what did Mike do in that game 7? If you go back and you look, no excuses. What did Mike do in that game 7? Because if he's supposed to be all this, he should have been able to carry him home for that dub, right? Well, we don't never hear nothing about that.
Was this 95?
No. It was 1990, 1989, game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, where Scotty had that migraine and couldn't play hardly in game 7, and Mike played trash in that game 7. Do we ever hear about that? Where's that tape at?
I think I may have found out what made the issue be Tony. That I think the issue is, to Wig's point earlier, MJ's impact once he got on top was so strong. It's like it was undeniable. The years before that have just been erased. Like they don't even look at it. It's kind of like how Peyton Manning had a losing playoff record, but the moment he won a championship, no one talks about it anymore. The monkey's off the back. Same thing with Steve Young. So I think that's the issue. Because Jordan, whether people want to admit it or not, has made the biggest impact on the game, in my opinion, because he started winning right around the time when the Dream Team came out. So it opened the doors to international ball play. So everybody and their mama knows Jordan. And then as soon as he retires, they lost all this money. The ratings were, started going down, and now they're searching for the next Jordan. In my eyes, Kobe, Iverson, T-Mac, they kind of shouldered the load, but LeBron was kind of like that mantle, like, we need you to be the face of the NBA. And me personally, despite as much as I talk about him, that dude has lived up to the expectation. Yeah, sure. He has delivered like under he's had the most pressure of any athlete, in my personal opinion. And he has no off the court issues, you know what I'm saying? None of that stuff. It's just the BAN tactics that I like to freaking point out. The flopping, the dramatics, the bullying of Stephen A. Smith. That's my man's in them. You don't run up on him during halftime or a timeout and you're doing all this other shit, but you don't do that to a rapper that's your same damn size who's talking about your wife, but you over here running up on a 60-year-old dude that's talking about your sorry ass son on the court at the time.
Name one. Right, hold on. Name one Kevin Gates song.
2 phones.
Hold on. Let me get some rebuttal from Tony on this one. So Tony, on the question or the statement that LeBron could be a BAN sometimes, on the statement that LeBron flops and is bad for the league, he can be a bad influence when it comes to flopping. On the statement that LeBron left Cleveland to join D Wade and that was a soft move, what do you say to people that say that LeBron is soft, or to the people that say that LeBron is not good for the league because he doesn't have that killer mentality? What do you say to respond to that?
I look at it as kind of hating, because I look at it at like, we've kind of all grown up on one style. So we grew up on the Mike and Kobe style of at the end of the game, you're supposed to be a killer, right? But when we look at Magic, I think that's where LeBron more so pulls his style from, of being all-inclusive and getting teammates involved. And nobody accuses Magic of being a band. Nobody accuses Magic of not having killer instinct. We don't ascribe those things to him because we all universally love Magic, right? But LeBron takes those things from Magic, incorporates them in a better, in a better player, basically. And we say, you know what, because he came after Mike and because he came after Kobe, we say, hey, no, he don't have the killer instinct. I mean, that's that Skip Bayless nonsense right there. It was like, he has all these game winners. He doesn't have the killer instinct. He makes the right play. He doesn't have the killer instinct. When I happen to remember passes to Johnny Paxson and Steve Kerr, which were the right play. We can't criticize him for making the right play and then turn around. You know what I'm saying? It's stuff like that. It's just the inconsistency. And I guess I'm blessed with a good memory because I remember the old stuff that happened back in the day. So that's my frustration with all that. In terms of the flopping, I mean, sometimes you getting fouled and you got to sell it. That's just the way the NBA is at this point. And it sucks. And I don't necessarily agree with it, and it should stop. However, if you're not getting the foul calls, what are you supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? It was like you had foul merchants like Harden and SGA and even Brunson doing all these flopping, and they getting 12, 13 free throws a game, and you going to the whole strong, you really getting hit out here, and you not going to the line. So what makes sense to do in that situation? What do you have to do? You got to sell it a little bit, and that's what it is. I mean, come on, man. We know better.
So
he's definitely selling.
Cole, would you give Jordan the edge as far as it comes to mentality?
I think mentally, I think Bron is there too. I mean, I don't think he would be doing all this stuff if he wasn't mentally there. But I think from a competitive standpoint, I don't think there's anybody more competitive than Jordan and Kobe. It's like Jordan. If he didn't win, he would feel sick. It's like winning was his medicine for whatever was going on in that crazy head of his. So from a competitive standpoint, I'll give the edge to Jordan. Like to quote Jordan, he said, "I never lost a game. I just ran out of time."
Okay,
foolishness I'm talking about. like, no, bro, you lost the Isaiah. You lost. I was like, stop all this. I saw you lose a whole lot with the Wizards. Stop all this nonsense.
All right, my last category. I'm gonna ask about I think both of y'all kind of mentioned clutch when we were talking about some of the last stuff. So let me see who you guys having, or who you guys think is the more clutch player. I think I know who you guys are gonna say, but just I honestly touch a little bit more on the clutch one.
It's about even. It's more so what do you want and how is your team structured. So, I mean, if you coming down the lane and they're collapsing on you, the right play is to kick it out to the open man if you trust your teammates. And both of them have shown consistently over the years that they're willing to do that in high leverage moments. Mike's mid-range is better. I think I trust Bron a little more from three. If he's going straight to the rack, I think I might trust Bron a little bit more. But if you get fouled and go to the line, I trust Mike a little bit more. So I feel like they're about even on that. And people just aren't honest. We so kind of dug in our corners on certain things that you're not gonna get the other side credit. I mean, they're at the same table. They're looking at each other eye to eye, whether you on Mike's side or Bron's side, whether you want to bring Kareem into it, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, they all at the same table and they can argue amongst themselves who's the real GOAT or whatnot. But I mean, there's levels to it. And those two players really in the modern era are the top two players, however you want to match them up 1-2 with respect to Kobe on the side.
Yeah,
you got Kobe clutch.
I agree. The only thing I would say is Jordan is looking to shoot first. Bron is looking to pass first. But if the shot is open, Bron will take it. We've seen him do that. He had, I think he has 8. He
has the most made shots. Like
something like that. So he's shown that he's clutch. I think that Dallas series just hung over his head, but after more wins, he's gotten past that. But I think to Tony's point, if the right guy's open, they're gonna pass the ball. Jordan will do that every time. But I've seen Jordan and Kobe shoot over 3-4 Bamas at one point because they're like, look, I'm taking the shot no matter what. And that's what I love about them. Because I'll go down with the ship. Sometimes I'd rather take the L and take the last shot rather than get the win and give it to somebody else for their glory.
I want my dub.
That's the one thing I would say to kind of just make a rebuttal to your point about Magic and LeBron passing. My thing is Magic is passing to James Worthy and Kareem, where sometimes LeBron is passing to, Mo Williams and, Ilgauskas. Like, LeBron, don't pass it to Mo, don't pass it to Chalmers. Take the shot yourself. Like, that would be my thing with LeBron is take the shot yourself sometimes, and then sometimes it's go to the lane. Sometimes I felt like in the end of games, LeBron he will take the shot, but he's settling for 3, where I would rather see him drive to the hole,
right there, and
he doesn't want to maybe be at the free throw line. So that would be my thing with LeBron, where because again, we have to really be, we're picking, needle in a haystack here to find stuff. So yeah, I would say that's the only thing I would pinpoint on when it comes to LeBron.
Yeah. So that's pretty much where I stand. Like I said what I said. My main man Tony B said what he said. Wick said what he said. Y'all need to let us know what y'all think here, okay? Who do you think the NBA GOAT is? I think it's MJ. Tony thinks it's LeBron. I think Wiggs and I are in agreement.
I got MJ. I got it. It's close.
It's close. And like
they're 1 and 2. 1A, 1B.
Yeah. And one thing, I mean, he's 1C for me. 1B is Kobe Bryant on a good day. Number 24 is the greatest basketball player I've ever seen. But I saw more of Kobe than I did Jordan. I didn't see Jordan until 91. I saw Kobe his whole career, so it's a little bit different. But let us know what you think there, Brodies. Like and subscribe on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Like and subscribe again. Click on the bottom right-hand corner. Share and tell a friend to tell a friend. But that is all we have for today. Tony, man, we definitely appreciate you coming through.
Hey, shout out to Tony, man.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, man, you definitely brought your A game, bro. We definitely got to do this again. I'm going to check and see how many more slots we can fill. Because if we can get a 4th person in here, then we can have a real round table here. But we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. Next week's episode, we'll wrap things up with the conference finals. But until then, it's the boy, it's the Lord Head Cold World, it's the guy Jay Wiggs, my main man Tony B. It's BST, the panel, it's Brody Sports Talk. We'll see y'all next week, y'all. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Peace.